Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale in Abuja. As always, we have so much to talk about tonight. So let's begin by first and foremost letting you know that on the program tonight, we're going to be focusing on the state of the nation, the running of our democracy, the issues of zoning, the controversies that has been generated within the different political parties. So we meet everyone because I have very prominent guests tonight on the program. Before we get into discussion, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
Minister of Transportation and APC presidential aspirant Mr. Rotimi Amechi has promised to ensure the completion of the rail line in Ondo State, as well as the Ondo Seaport, if elected as president come 2023. Amechi made this declaration while speaking at the palace of the paramount ruler of Akure Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Aladeton Igbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, during his visit to the state to seek support for his presidential ambition.
By God's grace, before me, 2003, what we start to seek right.
Another presidential aspirant in Ondo State is the former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, who is appealing to the PDP in the state to support his dream of becoming the president of Nigeria come 2023. Saraki made this disclosure while meeting leaders of the PDP in the state at the state party secretariat in Akure, the state capital. The former governor of Kwara State, whose mother hails from Owo, Ondo State, laments the level of poverty, corruption and insecurity in the nation.
My political career, I have shown I am somebody that can make sacrifices.
The wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, is charging political parties and aspirants to create an atmosphere for fair play during the 2023 general elections. She was speaking during a special iftar organized for presidential aspirants on Saturday night. She also urged parties to reserve a certain percentage of contestable positions for women. The PDP women leader is meeting with all female aspirants on the platform of the PDP in Abuja. The meeting is necessitated by the desire to leave no stone unturned in preparation for the PDP primaries. According to her, she wants more women to win and emerge as candidates and win more political seats.
Our women do not only come out to participate in politics, but to also participate meaningfully.
An Abia Central senatorial hopeful in the All Progressives Congress, Mrs. Nkechi Nwogu, says the party has given the female aspirants the room to contest in the 2023 general elections by making the nomination form free of charge. Nkechi, who was a former senator in the National Assembly, affirmed that the cost for presidential form, amongst others, are high, but it is in the right direction to separate troublemakers from the genuine party members that are willing to contest, knowing their credibility and winning ability.
My party is giving the nomination form every woman free of charge, so it will not discourage women.
The Cross River State chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC lobby group has concluded what it termed political evangelism across the 18 local governments of the state, urging eligible Nigerians of voter age to get registered ahead of the 2023 general elections. Chairman of the lobby group and immediate past Commissioner for Finance, Asuku Okpeong, at different points emphasized that the needed change by Nigerians can only be achieved through the ballots. The tour was also to canvass for more youth participation in politics as political parties prepare for their primaries.
We want our young people to go out in their numbers so that they can determine the future of this local government, they can determine the future of Cross River State, and they can determine the future of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's begin tonight from what happened today in Abuja, the nation's capital, where leaders from the southeast, southwest, the south-south, and the middle belt of Nigeria are again advocating that the next president should come from the southeastern part of the country. They made the call during the Greater Nigeria Conference organized to campaign for candidates from the southeast who they deem capable to lead the country come 2023. Take a listen to some of the speakers at that event.
I don't like all the people who came out from this, but for the fact that they say you have no people, I'm happy you demonstrate that. But you must go and unite. You must go and unite. You must go and unite. The problem is just ourselves. Get us united. And let the Yorubas and the Igbos know that they have a say to talk together. The moment they are continuing this rivalry among themselves, they will be forever subjugated by the Fulani.
Of Nigeria was, a seed sown for a very long time. Seed sown on injustice and the inequitable distribution of the resources of the nation. And we are here to correct it. And I think right now, the Nigerian society is very tired of political promises. Aisha, Aisha, Aisha. We need as a nation now to rebuild Nigeria and engineer.
Nigeria, a blessed country by God with exceptional human and material resources and endowments. A country with so much promise has remained only a potentially great nation, which today is seen as the poverty capital of the world, with 71% poverty level and 53% unemployment among the population, with one of the worst security situations in the world today, completely divided on all seams, a chronically underdeveloped third world.
All right, so you heard some of the speakers today. So many of them spoke, and one thing that was on the table to discuss was 2023. How united some of the interest groups are in the interest of who becomes the president of Nigeria in 2023. Well, it's been put together by a socio-political group that is across the border, across professional, and in fact, some of them are outside of the country. Now, I'm being joined by one of the leaders, the vice chairman of the Greater Nigeria Group, a former federal lawmaker, Senator Victor Ume. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shane.
I forgot to mention that you're a former national chairman of APGA too.
Yes, thank you, Shane. And good evening, listeners and watchers.
Greater Nigeria. Today you're meeting, for the sake of our viewers, what brought about Greater Nigeria Group?
By that name, you see that our vision is that Nigeria should be great. And looking at how things have gone on in Nigeria, that greatness is eluding Nigeria. We have crisis everywhere, crisis of confidence, crisis of trust in the polity, and so on and so forth. The Nzuko Monna, which is a global think tank of professionals and intellectuals from the Southeast region, decided to put up this conference, which we call the Greater Nigeria Conference.
How long has the Greater Nigeria Group existed?
Well, for the purpose of this event, about 5 months now.
Okay.
And our central objective is to show that the Southeast Nigeria has an array of competent people who can be president in Nigeria.
So that's the agenda.
Yes, the
to
agenda
showcase that the Igbo nation is united.
Yes, can provide leadership to this country.
Okay.
That has been eluding the nation. And on the basis of equity and fairness, we think very strongly that in 2023, based on all considerations, that the next president should come from the Southeast.
All right, we'll get to discuss that in details. I understand that your chairman is Chief Okwesileze Unwodo, the former governor, national chairman of the PDP, and you are the vice chairman, former national chairman of APGA.
Yes.
So you're showing diversity in your committee, because the reason why I've asked you to explain this is the allegations always leveled against Igbo politicians that you find it difficult to unite. Is this one of the objectives, to show that you can unite?
Well, unity of interest is paramount in this conference. The entire Southeast, both the leaders of all the various groups from the Southeast, share in this aspiration that the president of Nigeria in 2023 should come from the Southeast. So we are united by that aspiration, that somebody from the Southeast should be given the opportunity to lead Nigeria from 2023.
And when you dissolve it down, you see that from what we are doing, like I observed, I was former national chairman of ABGA, and Okwimodo was, His Excellency Okwimodo was former national chairman of the PDP, you know. Then other promoters of this event, like Senator Chris Anyanwu and Secretary of Komona and many others, you know, all come from the South with various separate backgrounds. But what is bringing everybody together is that need to ensure that equity and fairness prevails in Nigeria. And for all of us that are from the southeast of Nigeria, we cannot be hanging separately, hoping that presidency will come to the southeast. That's why we came together to say, because most times when you are interviewed on televisions and all that, people will put the question to you that the southeast people are not serious. They don't have competent and acceptable candidates that can become president of Nigeria. We regard that as an insult, and that's why we decided to put up this event. And today, I'm sure by looking at the array of aspirants from the southeast, all of them are excellent people who can be president of Nigeria and offer quality leadership.
I think there needs to be a correction because we're on national television, and we also, people watching, Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike, are watching. And I try as much as possible as a patriotic Nigerian to also put these record that there is no place in Nigeria that you will not find any competent. Even to the minutest ethnic group in Nigeria, there are competent people that can lead this nation. And I'm not sure that anybody will come on television or radio or whatever, speak on the newspaper and say, there are no competent people from the Igbo extraction or from the Southeast. I mean, I just wanted to put it on record that Nigerians are blessed, and Nigeria, across every aspect, every nook and cranny, are blessed with competent people. But the question that they always put to the Igbo people is that they always face their commerce and trade and business, and they're not they might be united when it comes to doing business together, but when it comes to politics, especially the national politics, they're not very united. What do you think? Because let's go to the problem, because we'll go into the solution. What do you think is a problem? Why has unity eluded in some way the Southeast politics?
I think that assertion is wrong. One is that if you go back to the history of Nigeria, the people of the Southeast have been very prominent in providing political leadership in this country for a long time. The late Right Honorable Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was the first Governor General of Nigeria, the first President of Nigeria, you know, is from the Southeast. The first President of the Senate, Dr. Nwafọ Orizu, was from the Southeast. So it's not like saying that the Southeasterners are engaged in commerce and business all the time. We have provided energetic leadership at the highest level in this country in the past. In the First Republic, the first president of the Senate, the first Governor General, then those ceremonial president, Nnamdi Azikiwe, was from the South. So we've always shown interest in providing leadership to Nigeria in a democratic setting. It's gone on like that, and what happened is that a twist changed the scenario, and it became a situation where somebody from the Southeast will always be wished away when it comes to providing leadership at the highest level, which we regard as a conspiracy that was greatly unfounded.
Where did that start from?
Well, the accident of the Civil War, everybody knows about it. After the Civil War, conscious efforts were made to deny the Southeastern people from aspiring to the highest leadership in Nigeria. If you were at the conference today, you will see it clearly from the guest speaker's presentation, Dr. Bitrus Pogu. He pointed out clearly that in 1979, 9 years after the war, Shagari became president with Dr. Lex Ekwueme pairing him as vice president. And in 1983, there was a coup that toppled Shagari. By his own judgment, he felt that that coup was principally to stop Alex Ekwueme from succeeding Shagari in 1987. So they distorted
Dr. Pogu's
argument. Yes, that's what he said in his paper. And people cheered it because that looked like the reason. From there, one military intervention or the other led on until 1999, when democracy returned.
All right.
Alex Ekwueme aspired to be president. He was the founding chairman of the PDP. He led the G34 and other associations to form the PDP. He was being said to be the next president of Nigeria. And suddenly, something happened.
You want to correct what you see as a misnomer, or what you see as being sidetracked for the last few years now. Now, the question that I would like to ask you, Chief Umeh, is when you say fairness and equity, what do you mean?
What we mean is that Nigeria, for it to make progress and be a truly united country, every part of Nigeria will be included in the affairs of the nation, including leadership at the highest level. If you don't practice equity and fairness by including all parts of Nigeria, we're not saying exclude this for the Southeast, but looking at the historical perspectives of this matter, 2023 is a ripe time for president to come from the Southeast on the basis of rotation, because we have used rotation to provide leadership in this country since 1999. We had Obasanjo from the Southwest, from the southern Nigeria. Then it went back to the north, Yaradua, after Obasanjo. That's the rotation. And after Yaradua, who died, unfortunately, after 3 years, the vice president took over, which was Jonathan. And in 2011, he did another 4-year term and ended in 2015. And because of that truncation by death of the tenure of Yaradua, they did not want Jonathan to remain in that office. So the clamor for return of presidency to the north led to Buhari's emergence in 2015.
That may be unfounded.
How will it be
when
unfounded?
You say that the north does not want or did not want?
No, it was an open agitation across Nigeria.
But
if you were here, Jonathan was fought to the hilt, and by 2015, it had become palpable. It wasn't possible for him to continue in office, to the extent that people who were in PDP had to sabotage Jonathan in the presidential election. They were there and they worked for Buhari, who became president.
That's your argument.
These things are real.
No.
I was national chairman of Abga.
Yeah, of Abga, but you were not in the PDP at the time.
Even people working with Jonathan in his kitchen cabinet were working for Buhari's presidency in 2015. That was what happened. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
So, because the region like Northeast, for example, North Central, for example, we also claim the same issue of fairness and equity that you have just spoken about. So,
how can they claim so?
I mean, if you say that in terms of rotation since 1999, if the Southeast deserve to have its own turn, the Northeast will tell you that they've never had their turn. The North Central will say they've never had their turn too.
Well, not limited to 1999. I was just giving a breakdown for you. Leadership in Nigeria started from 1960. And in 1960, when the British people left, we got independence. The first prime minister we had was Tafawa Balewa, who was from the Northeast. He was head of government for 6 years. For 6 years, he was Prime Minister of Nigeria. Then if you come back after the war, starting from 1967, when Gowon became head of state, Gowon was head of state till 1975. He's from North Central, you're talking about. From there, you move on.
Are you talking about democratic leadership? You're talking about
leadership is leadership.
Military leadership.
If you are running the...
As far as the Southeast is concerned, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Either you're wearing babariga or you're wearing khaki. It doesn't. Leadership is leadership.
Military leadership is more powerful than the civilian leadership. Because during military dispensation, you didn't have any legislature. You know, there were no checks and balances. They ruled with decrees. They did everything. And remember, it was these military heads of states that divided Nigeria into 36 states that we have today. You know, so they held the realms of office for a long time. Babangida was a president. Have you forgotten? He was military president. He wasn't military head of state. He was military president. That was what he was called. So if you add all those people from the North Central who had been military presidents, including Salami Abubakar, you agree with me that North Central has had a fair dose of leadership at the highest level. So they should be eliminated, you know, in this agitation.
So now the question is, in politics, you don't stampede people.
Yeah.
You have to reason with them and also speak to their sensibilities and also appeal to them. Are you doing that within the Greater Nigeria group or as a region? Are you doing that?
That's exactly what we are doing. And this conference was carefully planned. The resource people that came were very prominent Nigerian leaders. Edwin Clark and Payo Adebanjo, leader of Afenifere, and then Edwin Clark, who is the leader of PANDEF, were all special guests of honor. You needed to listen to their speeches and their addresses. Bitrus Pogu is the president of the Middle Belt Forum. You know, if these three groups can come to Abuja today and agree and submit that it is only fair and just that the president should come from the South in 2023, we've made our point. They were the people who were making the case with their own submissions, recalling historical perspectives to emphasize that for Nigeria to be truly united country, we need to allow the Southeast produce the president. It has happened before. In 1999, because of the injustice of June 12 annulment that denied MK Abiola, who won the election, from getting into office and eventually died, Nadeku came up and through aggressive activities were able to put Nigeria on the spot that injustice needed to be addressed. You know, the whole country came together. The power brokers came together and agreed that the Southwest deserved to produce a president in 1999. That was how Obasanjo became president. And in that 1999, we had only two presidential candidates, Olufale and Olusegun Obasanjo. The whole Nigerians voted for a president between these two persons from the Southwest. Because of the expediency of the situation, there was need to address the injustice of June 12. So at this point...
What injustice are we addressing now?
Southeast has not produced president for Nigeria.
Is that an injustice?
It's an injustice. It's an injustice.
Is it a political injustice or a legal injustice?
It's political and everything. Any color you give it is an injustice. If you look at the way we have shared power over the years, you will see that in the south of Nigeria, the Southwest has produced president through Obasanjo, democratically 8 years. Now they have the vice president serving out for 8 years with Buhari. Then the South has produced president through Jonathan, who has been there for nearly 6 years as president. Nobody from the Southeast has been president. So if it's the turn of the South to produce president now. All right. Will so, somebody from the Southwest do? Let me make... These things have been argued in the papers presented today.
Yeah. Let me make
Adebanjo.
I was going to make reference to what he said. Yes. He gave a warning. And that was a portion where I was telling the producer to bring out when we were going to start this program. The point where he was warning. He was asking for unity amongst the Igbo nation. Have you yielded to that warning? And some of the advice that he gave, part of which were not aired tonight, on what he thinks will be the obstacle in your way as a region from achieving your agenda.
No obstacle. If you had tracked up all that Payo Adebanjo said in his speech, you will see that the one you chose is the low point in his presentation. He said that it is the turn of the Southeast to produce president for Nigeria. And he asked his own brothers, people from the Southwest, not to contest, that the justice of the matter is that the Southeast should be allowed to produce the president. That is the high point.
Where you don't see as a high point, that we see as a high point, is asking that you should unite.
Yes, unity is good, but what he's trying to say is that the Southeast people should come together and then work for each other. He didn't say we must present only one aspirant.
No, unity may not mean that you should have a unanimous or one candidate. Yes, it means then that you need to work together.
We have.
So the question is, how are you doing that?
We have one common agenda, that the president in 2023 should come from the Southeast. That is already unity of purpose. It doesn't matter how many people are contesting. And by the time the parties choose their presidential candidates, you see that any presidential candidate that comes from the Southeast will receive the maximum support of the people of Southeast. That is that unity he was talking about. And it's very difficult in politics for somebody to tell you that we are stepping down for one person, if what you want to allude to is that we should be able to present one candidate. No zone has ever done that in Nigeria.
I'm not sure that is actually possible, because there are 18 political parties officially today. How then do you want to have a unity candidate?
So it's not possible.
So, no, but
what he's saying is that you put your eyes on the ball, unity of purpose, and that's what we are doing.
So how are you going to achieve that?
We have today paraded the presidential aspirants. Senator Pius Anyin was there. Mr. Peter Obi was there. Dr. Sabo Wabonwa was there. Governor Dave Umahi was there. All of them, you could see. Rocha Sokorocha was there. So things that you never imagined would be possible happened today. They all sat in a row. Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze, Dr. Mrs. Caroline Mosu, who is also seeking to contest, was there. So that's unity of purpose.
Let me ask you this
Dr.
question.
Chris Ngige was there. Yeah. All of them were on the table. We weren't talking about party today. We're talking about president from the Southeast.
Let me ask you this. Does the Igbo nation, is the Igbo nation limited to the 5 states of the Southeast?
No, we are talking about zonal sharing of power. We have Northeast, Northwest, North Central. We have Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. So we are talking about power sharing on the basis of zonal rotation. When we went to the national conference, we agreed in 2014 that power should rotate between the North and the South in the first instance, and then across the geopolitical zones. In other words, if a president comes from North Central at this time, after 8 years, power will rotate to the Southern Nigeria. And if Southwest gets the slot and produce a president for 8 years, it will return to the North.
Right. So the question
Northwest will not take.
Now, so the question I was going to ask, I was driving at, is that are you limiting it to Igbo-speaking people of Nigeria?
We're
just to the 5 states of the Southeast?
We are talking about Southeast. Because I
know you have brothers and sisters in River State, you have in Delta State.
They will share in their zone when it gets to the turn of their zone.
So you're not considering them. They are not in this equation.
No, we're not talking about Igbo presidency. We're talking about Southeast president. A president from Southeast zone is different.
So because the Ikwere people from River State,
yes,
and Anyoma people from Delta State,
yes,
I mean they will say
if it gets to the turn of South-South in rotation, they can contest.
So they are cancelled in this equation.
If you go to South-South, it's not only the Igbos that are there. You have the Jaws, you have the Efik, you have the Bibio, you have all manners of... In the Anyoma area, you have the Igbo people, you have the Ikwere people in South-South. So South-South is not a homogeneous zone. There are various ethnic nationalities in the South-South. So when it is turn of that zone, all the ethnic nationalities in that zone can aspire to contest because the turn of that zone. So for us in the Southeast, yes, is a homogeneous zone.
So your agitation is not for Igbo-speaking president. It's for
Southeast, because the equity and fairness we're talking about is on the basis of zonal rotation.
All right.
Zonal rotation.
So what about your brothers and sisters who are laying claim and saying, we are Igbos? I mean, and they're from Delta, they're from River State. You know, are you saying They don't count in the scheme of things.
Historically, it's not the turn of South-South this time. And anybody who is from the South-South should be excluded from this arrangement.
But I saw some of them there. And that's
they can be there.
All right.
Some of them came to support us.
All right.
Yes.
All right, but
if you looked at the presidential aspirants that were there that spoke, all of them are from the Southeast.
All right.
Yeah.
Beyond who becomes the president of Nigeria and where the person comes from, what matters at the moment is the problem of Nigeria does not know ethnicity or religion. The problem is seeking solution.
Yeah.
Did you discuss the solutions of the problems?
Of course.
Did you identify what the problems are?
Of course, today, the presidential aspirants were given 3 minutes to speak on their programs, what they intend to do. What we tried to do today was to showcase the competent presidential aspirants and hopefuls from the Southeast. If you listen to them, you'll see that they have various ideas that are germane towards solving the problems in Nigeria. If you listen to someone like Mr. P2B, he said he's going to put Nigeria, pull it out from being a consumption economy to a production economy. Now that is the way to go. And if you break it down, you'll see that there is a sense in what he's saying. That's the way to reduce unemployment, poverty, and so on and so forth.
All right.
If you listen to others, you see their programs, So the important thing is that everybody has an idea of what the issues are. But if you want to exclude a certain group of people from offering leadership at that level to solve it, irrespective of if you are a magician from the Southeast that you can do everything, put it right, you cannot smell the presidency. That's what we're fighting against.
Unfortunately, we're totally out of time, but stay with me.
So take it now. The summary of the whole essence is that if we want to build a united country, a place where everybody will be happy to have faith in the country called Nigeria, you have to allow every group to aspire to provide leadership.
Right.
You do not discriminate. So long as that is not done, there will continue to be agitations across Nigeria for various reasons.
Thank you so much
for
talking to us tonight.
Southeast Presidency will heal Nigeria of this disease, poor leadership. Because we have people who can excel.
All right.
Yeah, they have the knowledge,
we need to bring in
our
other guests on the program, but thank you so much, sincerely, Chief Victor Ume, for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, more reactions have trailed the Professor Ango Abdullah's report and the intervention of former head of state Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on the emergence of Bukola Saraki and Bala Mohammed as consensus aspirants. Some leaders of the PDP across the 19 states and the FCT converged in Abuja and have condemned the outcome of that intervention. Former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, led that meeting. Take a listen to former Governor Sule Lamido.
We would like to state from the onset that there is nothing called the Northern PDP. Our coming together as key stakeholders from the Northern states is only for the purpose of debunking any notion or impression which might have been created by Professor Ango Abdullah's media statement about Northern Elders Forum having shortlisted consensus PDP candidates. The People's Democratic Party, as conceived by its founding fathers, and remains the foremost national political platform, wherein the aspiration of its team members can be actualized, devoid of any sectional consideration. Our party is neither northern or southern, but a Nigerian. We hereby note that the Northern Elders Forum has, through its secretary, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, disassociated itself from Professor Ango's media statement. Let me be very clear that it is Ango's personal opinion. We maintain that our aspirants are qualified to occupy the Nigerian presidency under the banner and under the PDP banner, and we shall continue.
That's former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. The issue of zoning has become a very tough bone to chew for the different political parties, as they all want to appeal to the sensibilities of Nigerians in a widely diverse ethno-religious setup. Amidst all of these are also fundamental issues which the 2023 elections have thrown up, and how much of accommodation can be given to some sections of our populations in the scheme of things. Let's get the views of the Dean of Borno Elders Forum, Professor Khalifa Dikwa. He joins us live from our Maiduguri studio. Thank you so much, Prof. It's good to see you again. And let's get off with the conversation by, first and foremost, if I may get your view. If you heard what the former governor of Jigawa State said there is an attempt by the former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, to intervene and get a consensus aspirant for the 4 people who went to him. But that has created some controversies. Give us your view on the issue of leadership in Nigeria. It's a very big question. Do you think that that is a major problem that we face today as a people?
Good evening, Nigeria. It is actually the ideal thing to do is for elders and wise men to sit together. Actually, that was the original democracy prior to the borrowing of whatever that came without the traditional system, that actually fought the traditional and pushed it and skimmed it out. And where we got it wrong by excluding the traditional system, where respect, human being is more important than whatever material is presented. Actually, initially in the past, we used to have elders who will sit down around and get the list of contestants across the parties. All of them, they will screen them. By the time they screen them and they hand them over to the parties, and then they are very sure that whoever wins the ticket, everybody is a winner. That was the original thing. But when it came and it had to do with money, and like I said the other time, that not all money can be clean, and you cannot get it right. You cannot sit on the tail of the devil. As long as with the stolen money, somebody can dispatch as many as 20 senior lawyers to go and play semantic gymnastics in court, delaying, adjourning, and so on, and also playing conduit. That is the view of Governor Sule Lamido, who, by the way, is very consistent. He has been in the party PDP. He is not the kind of a politician who will jump from one place to the other. That you cannot take away from him. And that ideally the elders, the great people like IBB and so on, should have been joined by other elders of like minds who will talk irrespective of the party. They are not partisan. Once they are joined there, they should be able, even if they don't go there, they should be able to relate, interact with other, and then give the nomination. In this case, President IBB gave it, as I learned, gave it to Governor Balana Kaura of Bauchi, and former Senate President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki. Both of them are impeccably qualified. We know the Governor Balakaura being our own at the University of Maiduguri and so on, and then from the northeast.
Prof, if I may jump in, because
the qualities.
Yeah, Prof, quickly, if I may jump in and ask.
The politicians will agree.
Yeah. So the consensus was the consensus idea.
Break the calabash. It means that we are likely to go into what President Babangida did in the 90s when they brought us out from the university, radicals. Those of us with likely supportive of SDP at that time were made to lead the NRC at the time. So I was made NRC at the time, NRC chairman. those who are supportive of NRC then were moved to SDP, who were able to do a clean job, and we conducted election without any iota or doubt. Everybody agreed at that time because we were not partisan.
Yeah, Prof, if I may jump in quickly on this issue of consensus, is an intervention that those who brought it together or who put this forward wanted to use in having a soft landing. But it does look like it's generating more controversy than they envisage. From your own standpoint, within our democratic practice, how do you think that these can be judiciously administered such that it will achieve the aim?
Not 50 naira or 50 kobo. We had it at that time, and naira was about 80 kobo to the dollar or to the pound, and it's the same politicians and so on, or military in politics that allowed the implementation of a foreign institution in order to break the purchasing power of the naira. At that time, there was a prime minister from Denmark who asserted that Nigeria was going to be a developed country in the next 10 years, and that had not come.
The table right there on the screen shows the different political parties. Give me your view, Prof, on the cost of nomination forms across the political parties. What are the implications for our democracy?
The implication is disastrous. It's not going to be a good thing for our democracy. It is getting more expensive than where this kind of democracy emanated from, because here we do not have the kind of system that will purge itself. Until we purge the system of corruption, the system of materialism that is placing money above human, placing money above the intellect, expertise, that is technocrat and so on. They are all removed from the system, not allowed to run, simply because they could not afford the money. It is going to be a terrible thing. I earlier gave you the example of 1992 with the caretaker. The National Assembly should consider having don't make it a blank thing in the Constitution. We should have it in case the politicians do not agree with one another. If they do not compromise, it is a bad thing for them. The only time that politicians were able to do one thing for the country was in the First Republic, when they created a state, the Midwest state, which used to be Bendel and so on now. And all the local government and so on were created by local governments and states. All of them were created by the military that they love to criticize. They have not created a single local government. So I want politicians to think of this country first. And whatever they do, if it is useful to the national interest, let them do it by fiat.
All right.
The way
Prof,
it is there in the discipline. And therefore, expensive thing to pay millions for you to run for this to the state assembly to serve your own state. It is unfortunate. It will reverse our system. It will filibuster the successes that we have so far had as a democratic country.
Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of grounds in terms of disconnection in communication with you. But another very sensitive matter in which I would like you to touch on, Prof, is the issue of the place of women and youth ahead of 2023. I think in a long time, this perhaps will be the first time that we are seeing so much of clamor for women participation and also youth inclusion in our politics. But in reality, how do you think that these two sections of the voting population or the general population of Nigeria can be deeply involved? Do you see them really getting involved or being drawn into the process?
Listen, it is male chauvinism. It is not even practical to exclude the youth who are digitally connected to the world. It's not like before when we were young, we never had a TV station, we never had internet and so on. But these very young ones, they are connected. They know so many things about the country. They know they can compare what obtains in Nigeria and elsewhere. They can bring home the best practices in other democracies and add them to the Nigerian democracy to beautify it. So it was the first republic that created one. And then the second republic, the constitution, again, it was not the politician that created the post of the Senate president. In America, there is nothing like a Senate president. Only when there is a tie, then the vice president will sit down and break the tie. This is innovative, but the youth of today, the women, actually are always more in number than men, everywhere in the world, except where female fetuses are aborted. But those who are doing this in the Asia and so on have now learned their lesson, and they are now moving to other religions in order to marry more than one wife and to do it. Imagine a situation, even if you go to the church, for instance, a church that is followed where a woman goes, the woman will eventually go with her child. And when the woman goes and with her child, eventually the husband will also join them. But when the woman doesn't go, it means the democracy doesn't make any sense, because they are the real voters. In fact, our own youth are more enlightened than what Americans or Europeans have in terms of political awareness, because I also expected the age to be brought down to 16, because they are not only stout, but also participating. Right. So it's not instead of 18, let it be 16. Yeah. Yes. We cannot have a democracy without the youth and women.
We're due to go, but I like your parting shot to be in this respect, and if you can make it in 30 seconds, that would be fantastic. It was one of the questions that I posed to you, but unfortunately, because of the break in that communication, you couldn't hear me. And I was going to ask you, or I asked you earlier, about the interment of the consensus arrangement and the fact that the aim and objective is to lessen the burden or make it easier to choose someone to go into the polls. But how do you hope that this can be properly administered such that it will achieve its aims and objective?
The consensus is possible if and only if the politicians respect their traditional fathers, i.e., each of the zones should be able to lock themselves in a room. All the contestants come out with 1, 2, 3 aspirants. That way, if they have fewer aspirants, the rest will support rather than go into anti-party and so on. This is a good thing, because we cannot all of us become president or governors, or as the case may be. The traditional fathers should be able to, they are not partisan, they should be able to now to chair the contest within the region. That way they can do. Otherwise, they may have to sort to what we did in 1992 with caretaker committees to allow, when the 23 of them refused to do consensus, and all of them were dissolved and banned from running. They shouldn't make the same mistake. I dare say.
All right. What a way to end the program tonight. Thank you so much, Professor Dikwa. Also, always a pleasure and delightful to listen to you on some of these issues. The Dean of the Brano Elders Forum, Professor Khalifa Dikwa from our Brano Meduguri studio. Hello? Thank you indeed for your time tonight. Ramos also sincerely thank you. Senator Victor Ome for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
But that's our show tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.